We say good morning to JW from the California Highway Patrol. How you doing, boss?
Good. Good morning.
Nice day today, huh?
Beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. Your microphone stand here is having some problems, but we won't discuss that.
Well, it's let's just say those springs have been sprung, if you know what I mean.
I'll have to talk to management here.
Good luck.
This is not working for me.
We've been doing that for 11 years.
Hey, I got my lights replaced over here. That's
true. Now, 11 years from now, they'll probably fix the springs on that microphone stand. Recent survey said that 11% of Americans admit that they are afraid of the dark.
You know, I'm not afraid of the dark.
Do you have night lights?
We have lights so you don't trip, so you go to the bathroom.
You should not have night lights if you don't have kids.
No. You should, so you don't stub your toe, because that's...
He has the clapper.
I have those little LED lights that plug into your outlets, and they just shine down on the floor, so you can see where you're going. I went, did a little trip, stayed at my friend's cabin. Well, up in Big Bear when the lights are out. The lights are out.
The worst is being a place you're not familiar with, and getting up in the middle of the night.
So we're in a cabin, right? And it's a log cabin, and so they've got the log cabin bed. You know what I'm talking about? It's all made out of logs. It's big. Yeah. It's bulky. I'm on the other side of the room from the door to go down the hall to the bathroom. And the first night, whammo, because I had the door shut. They had a nightlight in the hallway. So, yeah, son of a, it woke up the wife. So the rest of the weekend we left the door open so you could see where the hell you were going. But yeah, you got to have nightlights. I'm not scared of the dark, but it was funny because I fell asleep and the light was on, and then I woke up and she had turned the light off and it was pitch black in there, and you're just looking up and going,
you can't see anything.
Whoa, wait.
We have one.
How do I get out of this bed?
So what we do is we fall asleep with the TV on. Plus the TV has a little light on the bottom of it. Even if the TV is off, then it says Vizio, and it lights up when it's off. I know what you mean, yeah. And so it kind of lights up the room enough to where you can see where you're going. And then when you walk out into the house, we have, because of the kids, we want, or the daughter, I should say, we have a motion sensor light that turns on so she can see where she's going in the middle of the night if she needs to go potty or something along those lines. But 11% of American adults admit to being scared of the dark. I don't know what I'll do when we ditch the nightlight. I've come accustomed to it.
You'll probably just sleep with it forever.
We probably will.
Yeah.
We'll probably roll with it. We're asking you as part of the poll question to KZLZ.com, what is the scariest for you? And we have taken the 10 most common phobias.
Birds?
No, the birds are cool.
People are scared of birds?
That's my answer, by the way. I hate birds.
Oh, you don't like crows?
Because they attack me.
Crows.
Crows
they attack me.
They're jerks, man.
Did I ever tell you about the time that the crows attacked me?
No, it's because
he was a kid.
You're a Seahawks fan.
Seahawks and crows don't get along, yeah. No, I was at a park, and I saw this little baby crow limping around, and I went over to check it out to see if it was okay, to see if I needed to, call the Humane Society or somebody to come out for it. I went over and I looked at it, and when I went over and looked at it, 4 crows at the same time from different angles dive bomb my head, and they're like they try to attack me, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And they're like, and I'm like, whoa. So I freak out and I leave my bike at the park, and I run home to my grandma and my grandpa's house. And then in the process, the crows, I have to run up a hill. Okay, so the crows can fly a lot faster than I can run, because I'm like 8 or 9. And I hide behind a tree. While I'm sitting there, I get in there and I hide behind a tree, and then I hear, as loud as possible, loud as you could possibly hear, "Gah, gah, gah!"
Jeez, all right.
He just killed somebody's speakers.
And I turn around, and over my shoulder, there's a crow's beak right in my eye.
Yeah.
"Gah, gah, gah!" I freak the F out. Then I run up.
Did you pee your pants?
I pretty much did.
Peed his pants.
And then I ran all as fast as I possibly could to my grandparents' house. Then I locked. I ran. The garage door was open, so I ran into the garage and I hit the garage door to shut it, the automatic shutter. And I hear these crows outside. Gah, 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 gah. Well, my grandparents had locked the door from the garage into the house. So I was trapped in the garage because I wasn't going to open the garage and go outside because the crows were out there waiting for me. because I could hear them. Gah, 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 gah. For 45 minutes.
It must sound like some crumbs in your hair or something.
45 minutes. These
some
bastards,
bird crumbs in your hair.
These bastards waited for me outside my grandparents'
This is
garage.
so ridiculous. There's no way they were waiting for you.
I think he's making this up.
I'm not.
No, I think he thinks it really happened because he was a little kid
Why
who was
else would they be
traumatized.
sitting outside the garage going,
because
"Gah,
I
gah,
lived in the
gah."
Northwest too. They were everywhere. Crows are everywhere. That's the
But
thing.
they were still making the noise. Gah,
543-3693. Those are the numbers you can call in. You can also text your question in for JW. We call it Ask JW Anything. This next guy doesn't have a question. He actually has a crow story, Jeff. Go ahead. What happened to you?
I had a similar situation, except for I was an adult. Came out my front door here in San Luis, and there was baby crow underneath my pickup truck in my driveway. So I went out, and sure enough, this thing was emaciated, was in really bad shape. So I ended up having to box it up and take it out. But in that process, the parents and the cousins of every crow in town came and was attacking me and doing that same yelling thing, and they did it all day long looking for their little baby.
They don't let up.
Seriously, I'll go out my back door, and the crows that live in my neighborhood, they live in my neighborhood just like we do. They don't really fly off. They know where they got to get. And I'll go out my front door, back door, and that crow recognizes me. To this day, still screams at me. And I'm not joking. No one believes me on it, but
I believe you wholeheartedly.
What are you going to do?
I have moved thousands of miles away from where this happened, okay? And I still am convinced that when I go outside, whenever I see a crow, they side-eye me, and they're like, "Gah, gah,
they know.
gah." Like, crows and me do not get along, okay?
He's just telling you good morning.
That's
Right.
He's like, hey, I want some scraps.
That's my story.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for corroborating my story.
543-3693. You can also call in. We got JW from the California Highway Patrol in studio, and we've got some people that have some questions. JW, here's the first guy. Go ahead, man. What do you got?
About my buddy driving my car just to practice for his license.
All right,
no permit.
What's your question for JW?
Is how much trouble will I get in How much trouble will I get in if my buddy's driving my car with no permit, just to learn?
So he doesn't have a permit, license, nothing. How old is he?
He's like 32.
I mean,
I think there's more to this story.
You can, if he's pulled over, I mean, your vehicle can be towed. So that's probably the worst. That, and give him a ticket if he gets in a crash, and you could be sued.
You advise against it.
I would advise against it professionally.
Say you're the officer who pulls me over. Are you going to tow my car, or are you going to give me a ticket, and how much could that ticket be, or am I at fault?
Well, you're responsible because, I mean, you're not going to be issued you could be issued a ticket, but you're not more than likely going to be issued a ticket. He would, but you own the vehicle, so you'd be responsible for getting it out if it was towed or impounded, which it could be impounded.
But he would get the ticket.
He would get a ticket, yes, and I doubt he has insurance, and there's all kinds of things that would come into play. The best thing is just to maybe find an area that's private property, somewhere that's closed off to the public, so he can practice on the things that he needs to practice on to get his license. Also, there's driving schools out there, things like that.
Does that help you?
Yeah.
You won't talk about the worst case scenario. I mean, I can't tell you what I would do if I pulled you over because it's we're given that liability.
I'll tell you what you do. You're a nice guy. You probably give him a warning.
Because we want your
like
your buddy to learn how to drive
the car.
Yeah.
You can't let him drive.
Gotta get a permit, man. Gotta get a permit.
I was watching the live PD over the weekend, and there was a guy who got a DUI. His girlfriend was sober, but he had been drinking. He had like 4 drinks, and he was just over the limit. But he got a DUI, and he wouldn't let her drive the car because it was his car, and she wasn't allowed to drive his car.
I bet you next time he might change his mind.
Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Oh, yeah.
Where the pastor was sober,
like
but the driver
personally.
No. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, God.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, and there are many times when you pull somebody over and there's a sober person in the car and the individual driving isn't. They just made a bad decision. They made the wrong decision.
Crazy. All right. So Eddie from Paso writes in. He says He wants us to ask you. This is pretty funny. Say the speed. I'm gonna read it like he wrote it.
This is literally ask JW anything.
Say the speed limit is 65 to 70. What is the fastest you allow a person to drive without pulling them over? So the speed limit can never be 65 or to 70. It's either 65 or 70.
65 or 70.
So I guess he's asking, do you give people a grace? If the speed limit is 65, are you going to pull them over for going 66?
No.
He won't answer this question.
72?
I guess it all depends where you're at, where the flow of traffic is.
Depends on, what's going on, and different officers are different ways. I mean, it's just, do I?
Give Eddie what he wants. Give him a number.
Well, I can't give you a number.
You can't, because every situation's different?
Yeah, and I can't sit here and stipulate what somebody else would do. Okay. If you're going 72 and a 65, would I pull you over if you're just cruising at 72 and a 65?
Nah. But it's dictated by the flow of traffic and other things that come into play, right?
I mean, yes, it's
Santa Maria Frank writes in. He says he wants to know, is CHP allowed to hide when running radar? Like, can you hide? Yeah, like underneath an overpass or.
What do you mean? I wouldn't. It's not like you see in the movies where you're behind a billboard with camouflage all around you. I mean, you stay where people can see you. Our radars do allow us to sit stationary and run radar. Yes, we have a front antenna and a rear antenna.
Will you kind of get out of the view of people? I saw one doing this the other day.
Sometimes you'll see them
out of view. I was like, dude, okay, come on, man.
Hey, if I was a cop, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be hiding. I'd be trying to get people. That's what I would be doing. Part of my day would be that.
Sitting there.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, it's funny because I've rode with you. You don't like to sit. You like to drive around.
I like to drive around. I get too bored.
I would get really bored too.
Some people like to sit and run radar. They like to. It's just not. It's not.
Do you ever get out of the car and use the gun?
No.
Or the radar gun?
No.
Do you have those?
Yeah, we have.
Does everybody have those?
Oh no, we have 5 or 6 I think at the office, and you can go through the training.
We're going to call this Grill JW because the questions are coming in hot and fast.
This is Ask JW Anything. This one might be a little easier. Pete from the 702 writes in, and he says,
"Isn't that like Nevada or something?"
I don't know where 702 is. Anyways, he said 702.
Some people listen online.
He wants to know, is Jeremy's uncle, which I guess he means is your stepdad, because it's not your uncle that wears this T-shirt, but it's your stepdad. He wants to know if Jeremy's uncle or stepdad is a creep for wearing a uncle with benefits T-shirt.
What the?
So my stepdad's an uncle, and his brother, who has 2 daughters, bought him a T-shirt that says "Uncle with Benefits."
That's a classic.
Is he a creep for that? This is Ask JW Anything.
It could be a little weird, but I think the T-shirt's awesome. It just it depends on what content you want to wear it in.
All right,
it's very funny.
Okay, and last, we got to ask this tint question because I know the tint laws just changed, right? Tinted
laws?
Windows. My wife used to have a car that had like 20% tint in the back and 35% tint in the front, which is not as tinted. But what is the actual law in California? Can the driver's windows and the passenger front window be tinted?
No, they can have a film over them, like a UV film, but technically they can't be tinted.
No tint.
Nothing.
Do you ever pull people over for tinted windows?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What if I buy a car?
And I'll go on this. I look to see how it has to be dark. If I can't see the individual driving, then yes, But
what if I buy a car that has tinted windows in the front, and I bought the car and I don't know? I think mine might fall into this category. Would I be at fault even if I bought the car not knowing?
Dealerships should. Take it off, and they know that they should. So if you brought it back and said, "Hey, you sold this vehicle with tint on the windows," they'll take it off.
Oh, really?
They should take it off.
Oh.
But yeah, once you buy it, you'd be responsible for it. I mean, we have fix-it tickets for that. If if the officer's inclined to do that, that's what I would do. We have free fix-it tickets. That's what I would write for it.
All right.
EJ wants to know what your favorite tow company is. He would like a shout out. You know an EJ?
I can't do that. I love them all.
Sorry, EJ.
There are some that I use personally, or one that, So,
all right.
But I can't, I'd get in trouble for that. That'd be, what, collusion?
You don't want Colin Kaepernick coming after you.
No.
Poll question today. Of the 10 most common phobias, which one
What are the 10?
Okay, now I'm going to list them
You
off.
tell you mine, or you know?
No,
Which
he's
one
going to tell you the options.
Which one are you most scared of? Okay, the dark, which was the reason why we're even having this conversation. Heights, spiders, snakes, crowded places, thunder and lightning, germs, public speaking, contracting cancer, or birds.
Birds. That's 11.
Jeff's
heights is something I don't like, and as I get older, that's worse. But probably tight. I'm
crowded places.
Yeah, I don't like small places. I had a CAT scan done a while back, and.
So you're talking about crowded places / small places.
Yeah. And I freaked out. I had them pull me back out.
Yeah, like when you get an MRI or something, you go in that
not
tube.
Not a CAT scan, but MRI. Yeah. And that thing's like an inch off your nose. Yeah, I freaked out.
Okay, very cool. This guy's back. You want to?
Yeah,
he's got a question for you. We're ask JW anything. 543-3693. Go ahead. What's your question for JW?
Oh, yeah, I was wondering if he knew anybody that put on like a defensive driving course where you actually drive the cars through a course of water and obstacles.
Man, that is a great question. Man, here locally, no. Here in the Central Coast, like a defensive driving school like you're talking about where you do some aggressive driving on wet asphalt or, high-speed stuff. No, but you can go to like Riverside. You can go to bigger cities and they'll have something like that, like a driving course where you get to hit all those things. And like,
that's cool.
In essence, or some of our people who need some practice before they go to the academy, they'll go to one of these schools, and they'll, for a couple of weekends, and they'll get some high speed driving. They'll get some, driving on the skid pan, which is really slick, wet concrete.
Yeah, because I would
imagine.
So
that's something that's great because it teaches you how to manipulate, how to control a vehicle.
I could imagine in with California Highway Patrol, the majority of the people that go to work probably come from the populous areas, which tend not to be the mountainous areas. So say I get hired on with the CHP, I'm lifelong Bay Area resident who never made it up to the mountains, and I get my first post is in Siskiyou County, and I'm forced to drive on snowy roads. I mean, there's got to be some kind of training that goes into that.
Well, I'm sure
right?
I've never think, I don't like cold, but yeah, they have different tires,
you
different
just made
vehicles.
Your bed right there. See?
Oh no, I got enough time around. I get to transfer if I want. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely some good schools out there, either for young people or for an experienced driver, or if you just want to have the fun of going through one of these driving schools. They have them in Riverside, they have them in Vegas, they have them in Phoenix, they have them all over.
In Washington State, the Washington State Patrol, I got to tour this facility that they use, but they also lease it out to driving schools. They lease it out to car companies that want to do commercials for their cars because they have one of these big pieces, it's like a parking lot that's leveled, and they flood it, and then you can get the reflection of the car. But they run cars out there, and they just start turning the wheel. And
like I tried to get y'all to go to that media day at the academy. You get to do all that stuff.
Yeah, when is that, by the way?
Oh, whenever you'll not be scared and you'll go.
That's what I'm scared of.
Put your big boy underwear on and let's go.
I'm afraid of losing my job. That's what I'm afraid of.
They'll be losing your job.
They'll find somebody better to do it while I'm up there playing around with you guys.
Come on,
cops and robbers.
You can, sakes. You can record it. We'll record it from up there while you're getting tased. You can talk for the morning show.
What do you mean getting tased? Nobody wants to get tased.
Okay, I want that. We'll block that part out for you.
All right. Well, anyways, thanks again for your time.
Oh, you bet. Call me.
And remember that it's we're Teen Awareness Driving.
Teen Driver Safety Week, national. And that's like I said, it's funny. My daughter got her license last week, so I'm going through it right now for the second time. So, man, it is anxiety ridden whenever you watch your baby girl drive away, and you're like, please put your seatbelt on and be careful.
So what does this mean for the rest of us? That we should
stay off the roads of Atascadero?
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.